nuclear test ban treaty. A story of mice and balding men. Gene therapy may lead to new hair. And thieves stole her identity. Tonight, the hell she went through to get it back.
This is the CBS Evening News. With Dan Rather reporting from CBS News headquarters in New York.
Good evening. They are still searching for victims tonight in the smoking wreckage of two commuter trains that collided at the height of the morning rush in London. 26 people are known dead, 160 more were injured, at least 18 seriously. Passengers described a tremendous crash and a huge explosion followed by a fireball. The cause is not yet known. CBS News correspondent Richard Roth is on the scene in London.
Noise rocked the neighborhood around Notting Hill and smoke spread over West London. More than 500 rush hour travelers were aboard the two trains.
There was a sudden bang, and then almost immediately another bang, and the train seemed to rise up underneath me and then crash down on the tracks.
And then came fire, an amateur cameraman recording the scene as passengers struggled out of the tangled wreckage, away from the burning rail cars at the front of the trains.
I was in the middle carriage, thank goodness, and our carriage was tipped on its side, so we just had to sort of jump out and try and help all the injured people.
Many were trapped and screaming. Rescue workers arrived as some commuters who got out safely were trying to get back in and help.
I couldn't. It was jammed in. We were trying to break the windows open. She still shouted help. It took a while. I don't think she came out alive.
With a death toll of at least 26 and scores of injuries, officials launched what they say will be an urgent investigation to determine just what went wrong. Possibilities include mechanical failure or signal failure or human error or something else. With some eyewitness accounts of a noisy bang like an explosion just before the crash, police want to question every passenger who survived. But the biggest question may be, how could it have happened again? Just 2 years ago on this same line, a similar collision took 7 lives. The railroad owners paid the government a $2.5 million fine for safety violations.
I think you feel they've got to tighten up the safety after that, and it's going to be safer. And, you know, that it happens again it's unbelievable. It's just astonishing.
Tonight, there's not just shock and grief in the accident's aftermath. There's anger, too. Richard Roth, CBS News, London.
A showdown is coming in the U.S. Senate on President Clinton's bid for ratification of a global ban on nuclear weapons testing. But Senate Democrats said today the Republican majority appears determined to shoot it down. CBS News White House correspondent John Roberts is following the troubles of the test ban treaty.
The Comprehensive Test Ban Treaty is nothing less than a centerpiece of President Clinton's foreign policy legacy, and there is every indication that it will lose when the Senate votes on it next week, if it even gets that far.
So I think for the Senate to reject it would send a terrible message.
Drafted in 1996, the treaty would place a worldwide prohibition on the testing of any nuclear device. It has been signed by 154 countries, but 21 of the 44 nuclear-capable nations, including the U.S., Russia, and China, have not yet ratified it. As classified hearings opened on Capitol Hill today, Republicans framed their opposition around 2 arguments. Testimony from Department of Energy officials that America's nuclear arsenal could not be maintained without underground testing, and a CIA assessment that it could not verify whether other countries were secretly testing nuclear weapons.
It puts us at risk at a time when the world is still a very dangerous place. So I don't think it's timely, and I think it would be a mistake to ratify this treaty.
While he admits the treaty can't guarantee compliance, the president believes it will deter nations from cheating. And he says in light of nuclear tests by India and Pakistan, the world is looking to America to lead by example.
And if the United States walks away from it, the rest of the world will think they've been given a green light. So I think that argument has literally no merit.
Merit or not, it appears that the president will not get his wish. He does not have the votes to pass it. And there are bipartisan negotiations ongoing in the Senate to withdraw the treaty from consideration next week. The Republicans have proposed to hold it for the next Congress. That would be a major defeat for the president and one that may provoke all-out war with the White House. Dan? John Roberts at the White House. After a long partisan battle, the Republican-controlled Senate today rejected President Clinton's nomination of Ronnie White to be a federal district judge. The vote was 54 to 45. White is the first African-American to serve on Missouri's highest court. Republicans said they objected to his reluctance to impose the death penalty. President Clinton tonight called the Senate vote, and I quote, disgraceful. He said it provides evidence for those who believe the Senate is unfair to minority and women nominees. Congress is also about to reopen debate on the president's long-stalled, heavily lobbied Patients' Bill of Rights. That's a bill to make it easier to appeal the decisions of, and in some cases even sue, managed health care plans. To follow what's happening in the House, you need to know what's going on behind the scenes and with the lobbies. CBS News Chief Washington Correspondent Bob Schieffer is your guide to follow the dollar.
It's 8 a.m. and this is Washington at Work. Top insurance and health industry lobbyists hurrying to a $1,000 a plate breakfast they're hosting to benefit Republican House Speaker Dennis Hastert. Lobbying has become so brazen, the money is being collected on the very morning Congress begins debate on an HMO reform bill, the legislation the lobbyists strongly oppose. Here comes Speaker Hastert's van. With all those cameras out front, he takes the back way. There he goes, en route to picking up $15,000 for his campaign war chest. He told reporters later the lobbyists got nothing for their money.
The die is cast already on what the health care legislation is going to be. And so there was no influence there one way or another. We talked about a lot of different things, banking and other issues.
The bill that Hastert and the insurance industry are trying to kill, and the industry is mounting a massive campaign against it, would give patients the right to sue HMOs that wrong them. Georgia's Republican Congressman Charles Norwood, who happens to be a dentist, is an architect of the reform legislation. He's not surprised the insurance industry is trying to kill it.
We've given the entire health care system over to the insurance industry. I mean, they have total control.
Which is why he says it is time to crack down.
If you're going to overrule a physician, never having seen the patient, not licensed to practice medicine, you have to be responsible for that.
Republican leaders will now try a series of parliamentary maneuvers to water down this bipartisan reform bill, but Norwood believes that the reformers have enough support that when the final vote is taken later this week, they will win and pass this legislation. Dan.
Bob Schieffer on Capitol Hill. Still ahead on the CBS Evening News, MCI and Sprint say they're connecting, but the FCC says, hold the phone. Could something called a sonic hedgehog reverse baldness in men? And a dangerous mission to rescue an ailing woman doctor from the South Pole.
Can a sunset make you happy? A child's laugh? A warm breeze? No, not without emotional well-being inside. Now to help support the emotional wellness needed to enjoy life, there's Sammy from Nature Made. This natural supplement used around the world is now here for you. Nature Made Sam E, because happiness comes from the inside.
I love chairs. I like to think about how people sit. I love chairs so much I started making them. It's been an education. I've learned about things that have nothing to do with chairs. If you want to make chairs, find someone who wants to help people who want to make chairs.
No matter what you want to achieve, we can help. Ask Merrill Lynch.
My dentures always fit fine. I never thought of them as a problem until I saw the video of my son's wedding. It was then that I decided to try Fixodent.
Because Fixodent adjusts to the unique contours of your dentures and gums, forming a thin, powerful seal for a better hold than you ever thought possible.
It was like a whole new feeling, so snug and secure. For once, I actually forgot that I even wore dentures. So now, I like what I see.
Find out for yourself what it feels like to Fixodent and forget it.
On the CBS Worldwide Market Watch, MCI WorldCom today won the bidding war for Sprint, but the battle's just beginning for government approval. The proposed link-up of the long-distance phone companies would be the largest corporate merger ever. Price of the splice, $115 billion. But But CBS's Anthony Mason reports federal regulators want to know what this deal would cost you.
All right.
The most expensive merger in history.
It's an incredible day.
Creates another communications monster.
It will have combined revenues of more than $50 billion.
The union of MCI WorldCom and Sprint combines the nation's second and third largest long-distance companies.
The new company, which will be called WorldCom,
and creates a fourth telecom supercarrier, joining AT&T, which gobbled up TCI and Media One, Bell Atlantic, which bought NYNEX and GTE, and SBC, which absorbed Ameritech and Pacific Telesis.
The whole industry, the whole structure of the industry is changing. It's changing profoundly.
Analyst Brian Adamek says the name of the game now is to provide one-stop shopping, local phone service, long distance, internet, and wireless. That's what customers want.
They want to pay one bill. They want to have one point of contact for any questions they may have, and it's simple.
And so we have to be able to provide our customers what they ask for, a lot of different services in a bundle.
The merger must still pass muster with the FCC. Today, its chairman, William Kennard, was openly skeptical in this statement. American consumers are enjoying the lowest long-distance rates in history for one reason, competition, Kennard said. This merger appears to be a surrender. How can this be good for consumers?
We have since talked with with the chairman of the commission, Mr. Kennard. The chairman told us he would keep an open mind.
But Kennard's public concerns may be a warning. The Telecommunications Act, which unleashed this merger mania, was supposed to encourage competition. The FCC now wants proof that all these marriages will ultimately mean a better deal for consumers. Dan?
Thanks, Anthony. The Federal Reserve is holding the line on interest rates. With no sign that inflation is a threat at the moment, the Fed declined today to raise interest rates, but it indicated it's now leaning toward a possible rate hike in the future. Wall Street wasn't sure what to make of this. Stocks were up, then down, and ended the day about where they started. The U.S. government today unsealed criminal indictments against 3 people, 2 Americans and 1 Russian, in the big money laundering scandal involving the Bank of New York. The indictment says the 3 illegally funneled $7 billion through accounts at the Bank of New York. The FBI says its investigation is still in what it calls the early stages. Next on the CBS Evening News, gone today, hair tomorrow, gene therapy that just might put hair on your head.
Probably 10% of
Fortunately, there's Nasonex nasal spray, an effective nasal allergy prescription medicine taken once a day to relieve nasal allergy symptoms, indoors and out. Now that's wonderful. The most common side effects were headache, viral infection, sore throat, nosebleeds, and coughing.
I'm concerned about my cholesterol. Got a bike. Cutting back on junk food. Fortunately, my wife Joy discovered a new spread called Take Control. Studies suggest it helps to lower bad cholesterol up to 10%. And it's delicious.
New Take Control.
Nobody does it like you.
The new Hoover Steam Vac Wide Path sends hot water surging through 6 rotating brushes to stir up and pull out dirt others may leave behind. If you want clean, Hoover. Deep down, you want Hoover.
Opening arguments start at 9:30 whether this arthritis pain goes away or not. So I took Advil liquid gels. Nothing's been proven stronger on arthritis pain. They're the only pain reliever with liquid inside. Advil liquid gels, stronger than pain.
Oh, I should have used Preparation H.
Cool it fast. Introducing Preparation H Cooling Gel. Cools on contact for fast relief. New Preparation H Cooling Gel. Cools on contact.
I want to build my portfolio on solid ground.
Solid business fundamentals can lead to increased earnings for companies, and growing dividends can be the proof.
The Fidelity Dividend Growth Fund sees a company's current or potential dividend growth as a sign of financial strength. See what Fidelity Money Management Excellence can do for you. Get the Fact Kit today. Call 1-800-FIDELITY or visit fidelity.com.
There's late-breaking news about an early outbreak of flus. Public health officials report tonight a strong strain of flu is expected to make an early hit on the U.S. East Coast by Thanksgiving. Here's why. A recent flu outbreak in Alaska. Cruise ship passengers just back from Alaska have brought the flu to the lower 48. When it comes to fighting baldness, the next wave could be gene therapy. So far, it works on laboratory animals, but the growth potential for hair and for drug company profits has scientists scurrying to baldly go where no one has gone before. CBS's Elizabeth Caledon has the follicle facts on file.
By the time they're 50 years old, up to 50% of American men and women will suffer some sort of hair loss. But now, thanks to pioneering gene therapy and a few mice, researchers at the Weill Cornell Medical College may have unlocked the secret to curing baldness.
What we're doing with gene therapy is you could think about it as taking an old organ, in this case the scalp, and trying to restore it to youth.
To do that, Dr. Crystal and his colleagues rely on a gene known as the sonic hedgehog, which is normally involved in hair follicle growth. Using a virus to transport it, the gene is injected into mice, stimulating new hair.
And so what we're doing is we're taking follicles that are sleeping, if you will, and we accelerate them. We're genetically waking them up, and we say, start growing.
In order to chart the growth of hair, researchers simply shave the mice, inject the gene into a small patch on their backs, and within only 2 weeks, new hair appears in the site of the injection. If the speed in which new hair grows on mice can be duplicated in humans, dermatologists say gene therapy for baldness could have a huge impact.
I think this is great news for understanding the biology of how and why hair grows when it does.
The discovery in mice could be particularly beneficial to people suffering hair loss after chemotherapy and the millions of men in hair loss denial.
I'm not follically impaired, but...
Too much of the gene is known to cause cancer in mice, a warning sign that the technology is far from ready for being applied to humans, the species for whom being bald matters most. Elizabeth Caledon, CBS News, New York.
Federal health officials are out with new findings about the U.S. population. Among the vital signs, average life expectancy hit another American all-time high, almost 77 years for those born in the USA last year. The rate for AIDS-related deaths, the lowest since 1987. And for the first time in 40 years, U.S. infant mortality rates showed no improvement. Coming up next here on CBS, identity theft. One woman's battle to recover her good name and how you can reduce your chances of becoming the next victim.
Have you seen the latest? One-a-day joint health with glucosamine, a unique blend designed to help you maintain flexibility. It's from One-A-Day, and just what you need to feel your best.
Boogie Woogie, Brummel and Brown, creamy, dreamy Brummel and Brown. It's got yogurt blended right in with the creamy taste of butter. You'll try again.
The goodness of yogurt, the creamy taste of butter with half the fat and calories. Must be Brummel and Brown.
Sis, I snooped in your medicine cabinet. So, you switched to X-Lax.
Yeah, Correctol works with an artificial chemical. X-Lax works with natural senna.
Very effectively, too.
You tried it.
Today's gentle X-Lax with natural vegetable senna. 4 out of 5 users agree. It's dependable overnight.
X-Lax, what a find.
What a snoop.
Today's X-Lax, good morning, guaranteed. And for relief with the added comfort of a softener, try new X-Lax Gentle Strength.
I have the power to find the quickest route across town, to get tickets to the hottest shows, and reserve a table for 2 at virtually any restaurant. I drive an Escalade, the only luxury SUV with the executive assistance of OnStar Standard.
OnStar, how can I help you?
I have the power to make obstacles obsolete.
Escalade, it's good to be the Cadillac.
Suffering from nasal congestion? A new kind of relief is about to be revealed because now there's a medicated nasal spray without one single preservative. Introducing Natravent, the only preservative-free nasal spray for long-lasting relief in one single spray. Finally, somebody figured it out. New Natravent. No preservatives, fast relief. Saline mist also available.
It happens every 79 seconds in this country. Identity theft. A thief steals someone's identity, opens accounts in the victim's name, and goes on a buying spree. In last night's Eye on America, we showed you how easy it is for a thief to rob you of your good name. Tonight, CBS's Wyatt Andrews reports how difficult it is to get it back.
4 years ago, someone stole Carol Mixon's identity and ruined her credit.
I have a phone number.
She is a court reporter working in Shreveport, Louisiana. The imposters were 500 miles away in Houston. They went shopping on credit cards issued in her name.
Mervyn's? I've never had a Mervyn's card. Credit First, never even heard of them.
That was 4 years ago. Her credit is in shambles still. When she applied for a mortgage,
This is the bank where I have banked for 20 years.
the answer was, forget it.
They told me, oh, well, the numbers just don't add up.
That's what they said?
But their explanation didn't add up to me.
What was it really?
I think it was my credit report.
Understand that before the fraud, Carol and her husband Billy had a perfect credit history. Is your credit fixed now?
No,
Why?
because the companies won't take it off.
The Mixons did what fraud victims are supposed to do, and after 2 painstaking years writing all the right letters, their credit was finally clear, or so it seemed.
This is the bedroom. And
Just last spring, as they prepared to build a new home, yet another mortgage fell through. Of the 3 leading agencies that track consumer credit, only TransUnion gave them a clean report. The other 2, Equifax and Experian, re-reported the old fraudulent debt. What Carol Mixon found was that even when you prove to the credit bureaus that someone stole your identity and rang up bad debt, there's no real delete button on the credit bureau computers. Even bad information is still stored in your name.
Okay, let me tell you what we can do for you, sir.
None of the credit bureaus would comment on the Mixon case because the Mixons are suing Equifax and Experian. But TransUnion agreed to show us how their fraud investigations work.
We can place a protection on your file.
In most cases, manager Diane Terry says if you, the consumer, can document fraud, TransUnion will block the bogus charges from reappearing on your credit report.
We do have a suppression function, and when we do confirm fraud, we do suppress that information.
Experian and Equifax told CBS News the same, but TransUnion admits that in some cases, fraud charges can resurface.
It could happen, although it's an exception.
You're saying it's rare?
I would say absolutely.
They just don't give a damn. Dave Schwach, Carol Mixon's lawyer, says the credit bureaus could solve this problem, but don't because correcting information costs too much money. When the credit bureaus tell us, we're on this, we're all over this, you laugh.
Yes, I do. That's a joke. They don't make any money by saying good things about you. It's a negative information-based system. They score the negative.
Here's what still makes the Mixons laugh. Every week they get offers for more credit cards addressed to the imposters, meaning that for the people who ran up your bad credit, credit's available.
Yes,
while
yes,
your credit
yes.
is no good.
It makes you wonder how someone could be so, gosh, what's the word to use besides stupid?
And their nightmare continues. Despite the fact the Mixons are suing the credit bureaus, their latest report from Experian still lists 2 fraudulent charges and warns creditors the Mixons are a credit risk. In Shreveport, Louisiana, Wyatt Andrews for Eye on America.
Now, the experts say there are steps you can take to protect yourself from identity thieves. Among them, don't carry your checkbook, extra credit cards, or your Social Security number in your wallet or purse. Put ATM and credit card receipts in a safe place or destroy them. Shred pre-approved credit card offers and all financial documents before discarding. And don't write your credit card number on your checks. Up next, a CBS News exclusive, a daring plan to rescue the U.S. South Pole doctor who has breast cancer.
Look at all these laxatives. They all contain stimulants. That one says it may cause cramps. Only Phillips is stimulant-free. Nothing's more effective, nothing safer.
So I've heard.
Phillips, safe, effective relief without harsh stimulants. If it's real chicken your dog wants, it's Prime you want. Because high-quality chicken is the primary ingredient in Pedigree Prime.
Tylenol House Call. Information for healthy living.
Watching Wayne Gretzky, you'd never know the great one could have common arthritis.
When my doctor told me that my aches and pains could be the early signs of arthritis, I was really surprised.
It's not unusual. Millions of Americans under 50 have arthritis. Millions more are at risk. What should you look for? Risk factors include an active occupation, past injury, family history, age, and weight. Early signs of common arthritis include joint pain and stiffness. Well, what do you do for your arthritis pain?
I take Tylenol.
The first choice of doctors for arthritis pain is the medicine and Tylenol Arthritis Extended Relief. Tylenol works as well as the leading arthritis prescription, but it's much gentler on your stomach. So Wayne, how does it feel to be retired?
Pretty good. These days it's fun to be knocked around.
Could your pain and stiffness be the early signs of common arthritis? Talk to your doctor, like Wayne Gretzky did.
Tylenol House Call is brought to you by Tylenol Arthritis.
I knew I was in for the fight of my life, but I was ready.
When my husband and his friends start exchanging fish stories, it's the phone bill that can turn into a whopper.
I fought this monster for hours. First I had the upper hand, then he took control.
That's why we always dial 10-10-321. With 10-10-321, calls over 10 minutes are 50% off. That's just 8 cents a minute. Daytime, nighttime, anytime.
I'll tell you, it was like a whale.
Yeah?
You should have seen that.
Well, let me tell you about my trip.
Dial 10-10-321 and talk as long as you want, whenever you want.
There's an update tonight on Jerry Bowen's exclusive reports last summer from high over Antarctica.
Just 90 minutes from the South Pole drop zone.
Bowen was the only television correspondent along on a dangerous and daring emergency mission by air to the coldest spot on Earth. This lifeline to Antarctica involved dropping emergency medical supplies and diagnostic equipment in pitch dark in way below zero conditions at the U.S. research station at the South Pole. On the ground, the human drama involved picking up those supplies for Jerry Nielsen, the only doctor at the research station. She is also the patient with breast cancer. Fast forward to now. CBS News has learned an attempt will be made to rescue Dr. Nielsen next week on October 15th. That's at least 10 days before weather conditions at the South Pole are normally considered safe for landing. Privately, sources say that the urgency underscores the patient's condition. The rescue planes are scheduled to leave from a base in New York State tomorrow. Part of our world tonight. There's an especially good 60 Minutes 2 on later. This star U.S. Army pilot died serving her country. But in the days following, why was everyone, even the family, kept in the dark? And when Ed Bradley first met him, he was one amazing 13-year-old. And now, see why his story is a 60 Minutes classic. 60 Minutes 2 tonight at 9, 8 Central on CBS. For the CBS Evening News, Dan Rather reporting. See you again soon on 60 Minutes 2.
For news 24 hours a day, CBS.com on the internet and on our interactive partner, America Online at keyword CBS News.
Being overweight isn't good for you, but do you know how dangerous it is? Scientists studied over 1 million people. Their eye-opening results tomorrow on the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather. How to get on the right track at work tomorrow on This Morning. Experience CBS News.